A learning target of polynomials is factoring and then solved by factoring, which is illustrated in number 6 and number 8 here in this video. The first one is practicing the skill of factoring. One of the factoring methods in the unit about polynomials is factoring by grouping. So like x squared doesn't factor out of all of this, but the front part here, x squared will factor out of x cubed, leaving just x. X squared will factor out of 7x squared. 7x squared divided by x squared will leave just a 7. So now the back part, most likely the number in front of the x, that coefficient, will be a factor to confirm this. So if I factor out negative 16x divided by negative 16 is positive x. And now negative 112, so 112 as a negative in my calculator, divided by 16 as a negative in my calculator is a positive 7. So right now I can factor a x plus 7 out of both of these terms. What's left over is an x squared minus 16. Well, that is not an answer choice. It was not an answer choice on the test. Those are positives, so those are wrong. So why is it C and not D? Well, the number one reason, the minus 7, ultimately, the x plus 7 doesn't factor any further. Negative 16, though, if I divide that up, what multiplies be negative 16? And the only answers are minus 4 and positive 4. And really, this answer is how you start the recreate. We're going to talk about that at the very end. The other thing that we can talk about here in number 6, our solutions are negative 7, positive 4, and negative 4. Because if I put all this stuff equal to 0, negative 7 plus 7 is 0, 4 minus 4 is 0, negative 4 plus 4 is 0. So the factors and solutions are very tied together in this unit. Over here, when you're asked about solutions, if it's already a factor for you, this is actually quite fast. You're asking yourself 2 times what number m will give me 0. The answer is 0. So the factor 2m is causing the solution of m equals 0. That is a solution. It's not a solution. It's not a solution. It is a solution. M minus 1. What minus 1 equals 0? The answer is positive 1. So m minus 1 is causing that solution because 1 minus 1 is a 0. Just like 2 times 0 was a 0. And 3m minus 1, I'd argue you need to do a little bit more algebra on this. But it's a quick 2-step equation. What makes this 0? Opposite of minus 1 is plus 1. So you get 3m equals 1. Opposite of times 3m is divide. Hey, there's our 1/3 that shows up here for B. 3m minus 1. So the reason D was correct, the reason it's not a solution, we do not, there is no m minus 2. M minus 2 equaling 0. What minus 2 is 0? The answer would be 2 minus 2. So 2 is not a solution because m minus 2 is not a factor. So the recreate problem, to earn up to 14% back on your, it says unit 5, I should change that to 4. To earn points back. You are not allowed to use 4s, 7s, and 1s. No 4s, 7s, and 1s. So I'm going to demonstrate. I strongly recommend you use the same term, but as a positive and negative. You'll see why here very shortly. So here is an example of how to recreate the problem. The nice thing about the recreate problem, you're going to know your answer. Okay? You will know your answer. And then let's go with x minus 7. So your recreate problem, first write down 3 factors. Second, do your multiplying. X times x is x squared. X times positive 1 is plus 1x. We're multiplying, we're distributing, we're foiling, whatever name you want to call it. Negative 1 times x is negative 1x. Negative 1 times positive 1 is negative 1. So that is our front. We still have x minus 7 to take care of. Strongly advise you simplify before that. And this is why I strongly recommend you have the same term, but as a positive and negative. Again, you're not allowed to use 1s or negative 1s, 4s or negative 4s, 7s or negative 7s. Any other number you want, go ahead and use it. X squared, there's no like terms. Plus 1x minus 1x is nothing. Cancels out. We have a minus 1. We have an x minus 7 sitting on the end. Repeat that formula again. X squared times x, x cubed. X squared times minus 7, minus 7x squared, or negative 7x squared. Negative 1 times x, negative 1x. Negative 1 times negative 7, positive 7. So now your problem's created right here. So we would be asked to factor and find zeros or solutions. So 0 equals all that stuff. And the nice thing is I've already got this color coded to remind me it's a solved by grouping. So bring the 0 down. What is a factor of both x cubed and 7x squared? X squared. What's left over? X cubed divided by x squared would leave just an x. 3 minus 2 is an exponent of 1, a ninja 1. X squared divided by x squared would be 1, so we got a minus 7 on the end. What is the factor of both negative 1 and 7? The answer is negative 1. And I know this because I want an x minus 7 by the end. Negative 1x divided by negative 1 is positive x. Positive 7 divided by negative 1 is a negative 7. We're very close to done on recreating the problem, or at least an example of it. You, again, need your own distinct recreate problem. There's an x squared minus 1. And in both things, there's an x minus 7. So the x minus 7 technically factors out first. That leaves an x squared minus 1 on the end. So the factors in the recreate, the 3 of them would be x minus 7. What multiplies to be negative 1? Well, again, I know because I recreated the problem, but negative 1 times positive 1, so I need an x minus 1 and an x plus 1. Because negative 1 times 1 is negative 1, x times x is x squared. Negative 1 plus 1 leaves us 0 x's in the middle. And our solutions or zeros, 7, 1, and negative 1. And I'm not picky on the order. It's the idea 7 minus 7 is 0. 1 minus 1 is 0. 0 times everything is 0. And negative 1 plus 1 is 0. 0 times everything is 0. So an example of the recreate problem is sitting right there. Again, pick any numbers that are not negative 1, positive 1, negative 7, positive 7, negative 4, or positive 4. Turn it in, and your test grade can go up.